Hmm. Yo, yo, what's up, y'all? V-March Boxing, and I'm back at it once again with another boxing video post-fight review, post-fight results. Devin Haney putting his strap on the line. I believe he's like 26-0 coming into this fight. WBC lightweight title holder versus his mandatory Jojo Diaz. The first 3 rounds, I gave it to the man Devin Haney. He was keeping the man Jojo Diaz at the end of his jab. Excuse me. Let me hear what this Chris Mannix got to say with this kid. Big ups to the man Devin Haney. Congratulations to him. 2 fights in a row, he's faced adversity and he's still come out on top. For a young kid, this is a great learning experience on the job. Don't get no better than that. So Jojo Diaz was keeping his high guard up the first 3 rounds, not really letting his hands go. Looked like he was in safety mode, like he was in survival mode, like he was about to do that for the whole fight. The man Devin Haney got his foot on the outside. This is Southpaw versus Orthodox. Using that jab, he's in the center of the ring. Then something happened in the fourth round, man. Something sparked with the man Jojo Diaz. Now he closed the distance where he's supposed to be because he's the shorter fighter, giving up about 7 inches in reach. And he started to go in. You know what I mean? I started to have the man Jojo Devin Haney on the ropes. Yeah, I mean, started to rough him up, going to the body, to the head, smothering him. You know what I mean? Not letting the man Devin Haney extend with that long boomstick of his. Now the man Devin Haney was even thrown on the ground by Jojo Diaz just to show the physicality that occurred in that fourth round. You know, and he's calling out Cambosos, y'all. Mm. That's it. He'll go to Jupiter if he has to fight the man Cambosos. Devin Haney's doing what he has to do in this boxing game. Anybody who hates on the kid got ulterior motives. That's all I got to say. So the fourth round and the fifth round, I gave it to Jojo Diaz. You know what I mean? The physicality, closing the distance. The man Jojo Diaz had this guy on the ropes for the most part. Jojo Diaz is flanked by the man De La Hoya on the side of him. Yes, Jojo Diaz now got in the inside, throwing the body shot game. Throwing all kinds of shots, keeping the man, putting the pressure on the man Devin Haney. So I gave Jojo Diaz rounds 4 and 5. Round 6, I gave it to Devin Haney, and there was a close round. Round 7, I gave it to Jojo Diaz, and I believe it was round 9. I gave it to Diaz. So going into the going into the championship rounds, I had this fight 6 rounds to 4. You know what I mean? And I believe it was either round 8 or round 9 was a very close round, which could have gone either way. And it looked like the man what's his name, was hurt in the beginning of the 12th round. The man Devin Haney, but he recovered, and he also stood toe to toe in the 12th round. No circling, no backing up on the ropes, no perpetual movement. Toe to toe went with the man Jojo Diaz, you know what I mean? And I thought he won the majority of the exchanges, and I gave him the 12th round. So I scored this fight 116 to 112, 8 rounds to 4 in favor of Devin Haney. At worst, I also, if you know, if I gave the swing round to the man Jojo Diaz, I would have this fight 7 rounds to 5. So I didn't quite like that 117 to 111 scorecard. I would have been cool with the 116, 112, and a couple 115, 113s. But overall, the right man won this fight. Jojo Diaz. You know, I think he could have let his hands go more early in the first 3 rounds. He lost the first 3 rounds. You know what I mean, and that put him behind the 8 ball. You know what I mean, the man who had to play catch up from that point on, and he did put the man Devin Haney under a lot of adversity. I believe it was in um, was it round 8 or round 9, one of those rounds. And Devin Haney is a counter puncher by nature, not really a lead puncher. And he would bail himself out when he's hurt by the man Jojo Diaz with the counter punch that would basically reset, calibrate, and get to work, you know what I mean? And get back his bearings to let his hands go. This was a very good fight overall. What's up, Mike 104? How you feeling, man? Says another good fight. Absolutely. This was a good fight. Very good test for the man Devin Haney, who's still undefeated. I wonder if the man George Kambosos is going to fight this guy. George Kambosos has not gone back to the United States since last weekend. He hasn't gone back to Australia for that big homecoming. You know, come off the plane, you got thousands of people waiting for you over there in the land down under. He ain't go back yet. He's right. Matter of fact, speak of the devil. As I'm watching the broadcast, here he is with Sergio Mora. There should be no excuse on why that undisputed fight shouldn't be next. See what happens next. Why don't you say with your chest, George Cambosa, you want Devin Haney to become undisputed? These new fighters, man, they could really sour the mood in the moment. The man is fucking there with the WBC belt. You need his strap to become undisputed. The man said he'll come not only come fight you in Australia, he'll fight you in Jupiter if he has to. Man, make that fight happen, y'all. This is a fight right now that should be easy to make for the man Eddie Hearn. Matchroom. Make that shit happen, you know what I mean? Chico's in the chat. He says, "What up? What's up, B Marsh? Another good fight for Haney. That Kambosos versus Faney fight has to be next. Absolutely. They fought a week apart from each other. So what's that's the main reason I believe why this guy's still in the United States. He hasn't gone back to Australia because he was here ringside to scout and view Devin Haney, who he says he sees some holes. Well, expose them holes. You know what I mean? Bring that man to your country. No shame in your game. Shit, Azuma Nelson went out there in the rematch with Jeff Fennick. And not only did he win, he battered the shit out of that man, Jeff Fennick, a Hall of Famer. And he stopped him. You know, at least Jeff Azuma Nelson and Jeff Fennick were willing to make that happen. Now, what's up with the man Cambosis? I can guarantee Devin Haney, to me, hasn't ducked no opponent in this boxing game. I've only seen fighters duck him from Teofimo Lopez and even Vasil Lomachenko. You know, now it's George Cambosis to prove that beating that Teofimo hopeless guy with shit wasn't a fluke, and try to do something as far as becoming undisputed, a feat that hasn't been done in the lightweight division since Pernell Whitaker. When Pernell Whitaker did that in the early '90s. I mean, it's been like 30 years since we've had an undisputed fighter. I remember Pernell Whitaker became WBC champ when he beat that guy that the Jose Ramirez guy. You know, he avenged his first loss, a fight that he got robbed. He won that fight. He beat him for the WBC strap. Then he got himself an IBF strap. Um, what do you mean? Man, this guy Cambosis, man, he's tap dancing, y'all. That's what I gathered from him tonight. He sound like he tap dancing, y'all. The fans want to see it. Ah. Ah. Let him know, Devin Haney. He told that man Cambos is talking about 80,000. It's gonna be 80,000. They get a little crazy. The man Devin Haney said, "Hey, the crowd ain't fighting, man." Or some shit like that. You know, look, man, Cambosis, if you can bring 80,000 out there, what are you waiting for? What's even there to talk about? You know what I mean? What is there to even talk about? Go ahead and make that fight happen. You know what I mean? Nothing to it, nothing more to it, but to do it. You know what I mean? That's what we want to see, man. We ain't had an undisputed fight at lightweight since Pernell Whitaker, man. Pernell beat Jose Ramirez for the WBC. What's his name? What's that Caucasian dude from Washington? Greg Haugen for the IBF strap, and Juan Nazaro, the Puerto Rican, he knocked out in like 1 or 2 rounds. I think 2 rounds. Damn near killed that man. And that was a long time ago, y'all. So George Cambosis, if he knows boxing history, he should be trying to make this fight happen for his legacy. Whether Devin Haney knows his boxing history or not, it probably doesn't even matter. All he knows is he's ready to come to Australia or wherever to fight this man. Good victory for the man, Devin Haney. Jojo Diaz ain't no slouch. I seen the guy fight live. In my lifetime, I seen him fight Gary Russell Jr. at the MGM National Harbor in Oxon Hill, Maryland. And it was a damn good fight, man. His body shot game is real, man. His body shot game sound like gunshots. I mean, like a straight 12 gauge. And it took a toll, you see, on the man Devin Haney with them body shots. But Devin Haney's a young man. His legs looked a little wobbly in the later rounds, like I said in that 12th round. But he recovered well, stood toe to toe, and banged out. Tico says Cambosis is looking for what money for that money fight. Haney will travel to Australia, no problem. Cambosis said he's going to the tank fight tomorrow. That's why the guy's here in the States, man. He ain't go back to his country. He better go back to his country and show him them 3 straps and the ring magazine and lineal strap he got so they don't forget who he is. Because they high on Kostya Tszú's son, Tim Tszú, who brought in 60,000 over there in his last fight versus that Japanese dude. All right. Now, uh, he brought 60,000 fans. I can guarantee you 55,000 of them fans came to that fight due to the man Kostya Tszú's pops. I'm sorry, Tim Tszú's pops, Kostya Tszú. It's because of his last name and who he is, you know what I mean? So that's the advantage he has. Cambosis is talking about 80,000. We don't even know right now. If you take so long to stay here in the States, I understand you want to see Tank and Devin Haney fight live. But you might fuck around, go to your country, man, go back to Sydney and get off the plane and nobody waiting for you. Make this shit happen, man. Don't let that momentum go nowhere, dogs. We want this fight for boxing fans. Give the fight, give us fight fans what we want. Because without us, these fighters ain't nothing. If we ain't paying this DAZN shit, pay-per-views, going to fight lives, these fighters can't make no money. Be March Boxing. Oh, we got some more in the chat. My man Sexshot, what the deal, man? He says, man up, Combo says, make it happen. It's all on him to duck or not to duck. I agree with you 100%. You know, Devin Haney has not stricken me as anybody in this boxing game who is ducking and dodging any fights. He's been calling out the fighters. Fighters not giving him an opportunity. All he can do is face the guys in front of him, and that's a good W beating Jojo Diaz. That's two back-to-back former world champions he's had on his resume so far, and it's only going to get better, especially if fighters step up to the plate and fight each other. Setcha says he ain't going to fight Haney or Tank. Last week he said he'd fight them all at 135. Yeah, he said that probably when he ain't had the straps. Mike 104 says, I'll fight Cambosa on Jupiter or Saturn. That's for all the marbles. Absolutely. Don't matter where the fight is. Tico says, that Haney versus Cambosa's fight should be easy to make. It's up to Cambosa's. I agree with all y'all 100%. It's only going to be people who going to try to spin the narrative on why Devin Haney shouldn't get to fight with Cambosis. You know what I mean? And it's gonna be a damn shame. But I could actually attest and say I'm not part of that type of thinking. I'm not type of that type of think tank where fellas got to do X, Y, and Z to deserve a fight. Like fucking Avni Yildirim did anything special in his career to deserve a fight with Canoli. I'm not in that kind of train of thought. You know what I mean? The best, we know who the best of the best or which fights we want to see as boxing fans. You ask a purist, a boxing fan, who you want to see. Um, what's his name? Canoli fight next. 9 times out of 10, they'll say David Benavidez or Demetrius Andrade, or even better beef. You know what I mean? But the first option will be where Canelo's campaigning at 168 would be Benavidez. You ask anybody, who do you want to see Errol Spence fight next? Well, look, let me not even talk about them because Errol Spence fans are still trying to make Bud do jump through um, you know, jump through all kinds of hoops and go go through go go through hell with gasoline draws on just to get a fight with the man Errol Spence, you know what I mean? But if you ask any purist fans who you want to see Bud Crawford fight next, they'll say Errol Spence. Who you want to see Tank Davis fight next? Oh, possibly the winner of the undisputed fight between Cambosis and Haney. These are the fights we want to see. And if these fighters get these fights out the way, then they could fight whomever they want till the next biggest, baddest challenger comes along. Like let's say a Canoli campaigning at 168. You beat David Benavidez. We ain't gonna be saying that. At least I'm not. You can fight whomever you want at 168 after you beat David Benavidez because sooner than later there'll be somebody up and coming. It might be the kid from Cuba, David Morale. You know what I mean? It could be anybody. You check it. So we just want to see the best fight the best. Setcha says COVID rules are rough in Australia. Hell, they locking people up. Nobody going there anytime soon. That's probably why this guy Cambosis ain't gone back. Shit, I didn't even know it's like that over there. Well, goddamn. I know New Zealand and them places, man. They probably have like one person in the whole country since 2020 who had COVID. They've had their COVID shit under control. I don't know too much about Australia. I know it's next to New Zealand. I know New Zealand had their shit under control. You know what I mean? But we shall see, y'all. So, yo, big ups to everybody in the chat, man. Y'all know what we want to see. I think we all agree here. There's only one fight to make. These guys fought a week apart. There ain't nothing else to do. No in between fights, no. None of that. Let's get it popping with an undisputed fight. All right? One B March Boxing. Big ups to Set Shot, Mike 104, Tico, all y'all in the chat. Thanks for hitting the thumbs up. And I'll catch y'all on the next one. I'm gone. Peace.